The Underbelly. A strange world made up of seemingly endless tunnels and pipelines from the hidden systems that keep the human world turning. Railways, sewage, catacombs, any structure created to facilitate the incessant function or store the forgotten waste of a society that carries on as most of the wanderers who find themselves unfortunate enough to end up in the Underbelly do it by mistake. They stick their nose where it doesn't belong and voyage a bit too deep underground on an unfamiliar path. It won't be obvious that they're in a new place right away, but most realize they've transitioned into the Underbelly as the architecture begins to resemble a brutal industrialist Dr. Seuss book. The creatures that live down here tend to be is the Chudfly. Chudfly are a humanoid species of insect that inhabits the Underbelly. As do many creatures that live in this realm, this animal includes refuse and biological waste as staples in its diet, bringing a whole new meaning to the term shit-eating grin. However, also like most all life down here, the entity eats by vomiting up a corrosive acidic substance onto its food and slurping up the resulting meat mush. Nature lakes with Mountain Dew and watch the fish freak the fuck out, but I don't know, sit on a sapling. The Chudfly to subdue more active prey, since it's kind of a sit and wait situation. Although, the insect has demonstrated a form of ranged spittle attack, and has been known to stalk victims for extended periods of time while the acid eats away at them. While parts of its facial structure have grown to resemble a human skull, DNA testing has revealed that this is seemingly from convergent evolution rather than shared ancestry. In fact, the structures that look like the skull aren't even bone at all, and are instead made up of the same chitin as the rest of the facial pattern recognition systems of human brains. It's thought that in the low light levels of the Underbelly, the similar anatomical structures could cause a human wanderer to approach the Chudfly to look for help. Just remember, if you see something that looks friendly, everything down here wants to kill you. So, you know, same rules as Australia. While the Chudfly does have wings, they're shriveled and vestigial like your penis, making them useless in terms of what it was once designed for. Similar to a housefly, this creature has compound eyes. Each receptor is a tiny eye in itself, which captures its own image, and the sensory information is converted into a larger, singular image. While these eyes have low image resolution compared to yours, they possess an exceptionally large view angle and the ability to detect rapid movement and the polarization of light. This is much more useful to the Chudfly in this low light environment than the regular eyeball setup. Also like regular houseflies, they have 3 larval stages, unlike regular houseflies in rotting meat. And after a few days, the eggs will hatch into burrito-sized maggots. These burrito maggots will eat whatever dead thing they were laid inside of to gather enough biomass in order to metamorphose to their next stage. The next stage, the nymph stage, is similar in anatomy to a dragonfly nymph, only much larger. At this point, the Chudfly nymph is around the size of an adult German Shepherd. It shifts from scavenger feeding habits to predatory ones, as it skulks both the water and walkways of the Underbelly in search for prey. The Chudfly nymph will basically eat anything it can fit in its mouth. So, if you're traveling with small children, keep a close eye on them. Or the Chudfly nymph will keep a close mouth on them. Wait, don't tweet yet, I didn't mean like that! While it cannot fit an adult human after it consumes enough food to metamorphose again, it will begin the final metamorphosis stage, in which it forms a pupa, and after a period of around 2 weeks to a month, it emerges as a fully grown Chudfly. As an adult Chudfly, the insect will live for about a year before finding a mate, how the fuck does he have more riz than me, and starting the cycle all over the eggs laid in him. The end. If you like this video and want to see more of what goes on in the Underbelly, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with all notifications enabled, or I'll throw you into the soup. Love y'all.